Hello out there. Okay. I'm gonna do what I normally do, which is to wait a few moments. I'm gonna wait a few more moments, two more minutes. I'm just waiting for a few moments. I've seen people pop in and pop out. I like that picture of yours. And how are you this evening? thought you thought you loved your job. That you'd be sad, a little sad that you don't have to work. Ex I asked my daughter the same thing. Was she sad that she won't be able to go to school the next 2 weeks? And surprisingly, she quickly said no. She looked at me like I was a little crazy. I was the same way. I didn't really care for school growing up. You never know; they may not be over you, though, right? Depending on what type of educator you are, I guess. So you're not trying to leave some type of positive imprint on the kids. I'm over these kids. What are they doing to you? Remind me, what grades are you teaching? Okay, all right. So then, does that mean once you miss them enough, you're going to go back? So no, you're not going back. That's all I'm reading. But that's what I take away from your statements that once you get your healthy dose away, I think once you get a taste of that healthy dose, that's it. That's it for you. I'm trying to figure out if I should go ahead and start, because I keep saying I see people coming in and out, or participants coming in and out, but then I can't always tell how many are online. Can't believe you don't want to be that type of educator anymore. Is it just those kids? Like if you had a different group of kids in that same grade, would you stay, or would you feel differently? Talked to quite a few teachers of of different grades, and they utter similar thoughts as you, that they are ready to leave, and I'm done with these kids, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, they are. They are leaving the classroom. They pay may be part of it. And now more than any generation, I think it just may be more difficult to deal with them. No more laying hands on them like I've heard they used to do, or they were to do. You say it's national, meaning the national region, or you're talking about the country? You should go overseas somewhere and teach. Yeah, that's true. I was surprised. So I put my daughter in school, and was talking to the principal when I first was investigating the school to determine if the school was going to be a good fit or not, and was asking certain questions. And I had heard that recently, probably within the last 5 years or so, that some of the schools, the principals and everything, were using a rod on the students, right? So I thought that was kind of funny. So I had to ask the teacher, or ask the principal, what their policy was, and they said something that I guess that used to be the way. It wasn't quite 5 years; it was a little longer than that. But he told me the different progressions that they go to as far as how they discipline kids, and then at the very end, he did say we would call the parents to use the rod, and I thought that was enlightening, pretty enlightening. But they had also told me that they are all about that discipline. They're about their life, and that's why she goes there. So I was sold on that. Yeah, I was sold on that. Yeah, you should look into maybe teaching overseas, especially in Asian countries where English is a desired language, and they pay well. Be amazed how quickly they learn English, for how long it takes us to learn their language. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, because I just can't tell how many people are when I see people coming, or the number goes up and it goes down. So I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, so good day, everybody. This is Dr. here. Thanks for those who are watching and participating. Make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. I took a somewhat of a sabbatical from this, but I'm getting back into it. Today's theme revolves around sexual partners. Right, so very open, open theme. But we all grow. We update our mindset as we go through different phases in our life. At least we should. And as you look back over your life, especially those intimate relationships, think about how you've changed over the years. If you've changed, but if you have changed, what those changes are, or what they were. How have you evolved? Are there things you desired in a sexual partnership with respect to sex and sexual relationships that are different than they are now? So today I want to talk about some of your current desires, right? So we all have likes and dislikes. We have characteristics and desires we gravitate to, while others we reject or avoid. There may be differences in key criteria, in key criteria between men and women, especially those with like a strong evolutionary significance, which we naturally we use when judging the quality of our partners. Uh, Men and women, we tend to look at criteria such as age and resources and physical attractiveness, the ability or relationship commitment, ability to commit to a relationship, and social skills. All of those, I think, can be viewed as important. It's been my experience that men were usually more, how can I say, we're usually more focused on morphology, right? Morphology is the study of the form of things. You may have heard that in a couple of different ways. Probably a linguist, like the study of words, but I'm talking about biology here. Morphology meaning the study of the body, of a structure. So men are, my experience is usually more focused on the body structure or how a woman is built, whereas a female, they're more focused on relationship commitment and then the ability of their partner to gain or have resources. All right, so let's get to. I want to hear your thoughts here and read your thoughts. I'm going to open it up a little later with a phone number and to call in and share your thoughts if you want. But what are the top three things you look for in a sexual partner? What do you want your sexual partner to be? What things do you wish your sexual partner was? I'm gonna type the question so that those who are just reading can come in late. They will see the question. First question, top things you want in a sexual partner. Top three things, if you can. If that matters. I've met some where they didn't care, right? As long as the guy had a car, that was it. Or had all his teeth, that was it. I don't know if that was out of desperation or what, but they had very low standards or desires. Okay, hey, as long as he has a car with gas in it. I think that was back when gas was super high. So the top things you want in a sexual partner. It can be anything. Anything. And I will save mine for a little later. First question is Top three things you want from a sexual partner. I used to have a lot. I think over the years I've kind of tailored that and focused and narrowed it down some. Top things you want in a sexual partner. Okay, those are good ones. Compatibility, openness, and honesty. Compatibility in what way? That's a very broad word and it can be associated with many in many areas. Compatible in what ways? Is just for instance, he's a Cowboy fan and you're not. Is that a problem? Or are you talking about compatible in a different way? And then openness, like you want him to share his feelings. Open in the sense of he volunteers or he will be open if you ask him. I assume sexual compatibility was coming, but are there other? So as long as it's good in the bedroom, as far as y'all sexually compatible, does does he have to be compatible with you in other ways? But I agree with that. Sexual compatibility. So it's sexual partnership, whatever you define that as. They are different things. And that was one of the questions I was going to ask later since you brought it up. They are different things. So we can keep it to a relationships right now. But that is a good question. Sexual compatibility. I had a woman once, she just lays there and then she, for whatever crazy reason, thought we were going to go at it again. Like, I'm not having sex with a corpse. What is wrong with you? And she sure was mad when I made her leave. I don't know why. I don't know why she got mad. I think she should have known that that was coming. Openness and honesty. I get the honest part, the compatibility part. I think I would push back on the openness part, especially if you're talking about from a volunteering information, open in that aspect. Vice, open in general. Right, right. We do have to want similar things sexually. And what if he was into like fantasies? and you weren't, or you were and he was not. Would that be a compatibility issue? Okay. Yo, so we're talking about, for those of you who are joining us, we are talking about sexual partnerships, and we focus at the moment on sexual relationship, not just like one night stands. And the first question is the top things you want in a sexual partner from a relationship standpoint, or you can speak just from a sexual partner, period. Because a relationship is different for each person. One person may be talking about a relationship from a commitment, and another person could say a sexual relationship is they don't want to have relations with, right? So the first question is the top things you want in a sexual partner. All right, so cleanliness from you go at her house and it's all jacked up, or she has to be clean. Because it may go without saying, but those are different things. And I still want to hear about that vulnerability thing. All right. Okay. You say the road least traveled. I don't know. Maybe more traveled than you think. I had a horrible her house. I don't know. Is she the road least traveled? Her house maybe second as far as travel, but I had a horrible situation. Well, it could have turned out and been a horrible situation. I don't know if God was looking out for me or what, but my nasal passage was extremely open and clear that day. So I think it must have been a low pollen day or something like that. But I was with this woman, and I wouldn't even call her a woman because I don't think women should smell like that, right? But nice looking woman, and so we're getting undressed and everything, and we're in the bed. And I smell something. I've never smelled that before, right? So I'm confused. I know I took a shower, so I'm smelling in my arms and everything. And then I realized it wasn't me, it was her. And I guess what threw me off was she thought we were going to continue down this road when she's smelling like that. And it had to be something. It was something there that I think she needed to go to the doctors for, right? And I never got close enough to examine it on my own. And it wasn't completely dark, so I was able to see, but there was no way that was going to continue. And she had the nerve to call me like a week later. I made up some story. I don't know. I had to go to work or something, so I didn't want her to feel bad. But hindsight, I should have told her like, you may want to go to the doctors because something's going on. Saying second on my list is not a lot of bodies. Okay. At my big age of 30, welcome to the club. I'm not being a teacher outsider. Oh, that came in extremely late. I don't know why that came in that order. All right, commitment, sex on a regular basis. Those are two things. What's your top three? All right, so you said if he's not clean, You gotta go. Cleaning what way? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And if the smoke was that crazy, it could have been smoking. I don't know what the hell it was, right? It was something, but she should have known. I know people who they may not take showers. You see it a lot in teenagers, for example, especially teenage boys, where they don't necessarily take showers. But you can tell that that's their underarms. I'm not sure where this smell was coming from, right? But I embraced her, so I hugged her coming in the house and everything. So it wasn't from chest up. So it was definitely below. And I really hope she went to the doctors and got some type of box prescription medication or something like that. Nothing wrong with a nice smile, as long as she has nice teeth. Don't smile and missing teeth, because then I have a propensity to laugh at everything. For those of you who are just joining, we are talking about sexual partners in a relationship. Relationship can be, it's defined differently by each person. So it can be a committed relationship or a non-committed relationship. But so we're talking about what are the top 3 things you want in a sexual partner. Below as in substandard? No, it was below the chest. So there was a smell coming from her below the chest that whatever happened, her pants was keeping the smell in. So I think her pants were high grade quality, right? She paid hundreds of dollars for that, because I should have smelled it through the pants, but I didn't. It wasn't until she took her clothes off that I smelled. I just thought, damn, man, I'm gonna have to burn these sheets, right? I can't keep these sheets now because you can't wash out certain things. So I had to. That's exactly what I did and everything, but there was no way. But I do hope she went and got a list of prescription medication, and she took them for all 10 days. I think some of mine. I'm extremely attracted to intellect. So intelligence. I find it difficult to get with a woman who I feel may rub off on me the wrong way. And that she uses words such as your, like your work, Y-O-U-R versus you apostrophe R-E, or there, T-H-E-R-E, as opposed to T-H-I-E-R. And had one girl from a long time ago, and I bumped into her some years later, and she said, I liked it, you. And I don't know what she said after that, because once I heard her say, I liked it, you, then that was it for me. So, and I think, right, so stupidity isn't a feeling. It's a characteristic. And if you're using words like I liked it, you, I'm afraid that that's going to rub off on me. Like I might catch that. Just like they caught it from someone. Right. So I'm extremely big on intellect. I find that extremely attractive, and not necessarily just sexually attractive, but just attractive in general. But if you put it together with some other stuff, then it becomes like can become a sexual attraction. So that's one of mine. wait. I mean, sometimes the comments come in a little faster than others, but tubes tied down. Explain that. Is that a desire of yours, a top three? You want your sexual partner to have her tubes tied? Because that's extremely fun, and I want to write that down. I pray she finds peace. I don't know. I'm just reading that. I don't know. I know God can do all things, but I don't know. That was a powerful smell. So I don't know what the prayer would fix that. Maybe if we pray in agreement, something like that would have. You ain't done. All right, so intelligence, that's one of mine. I'm attracted to that. A sense of humor. They have to have for me, they have to have a sense of humor because I have a extremely strange sense of humor, I think, right? In that I find humor in the most jacked up things, like somebody falling down an escalator. I would probably miss my plane because I'm laughing too much. And then if they were screaming as they're falling, I don't know. And that can be somewhat dry sense of humor. So they have to have a sense of humor for me. Okay. The you, if you can elaborate on that. So are we talking biblical, right? A woman that knows her place. Are you talking about she's not forgetful, she knows where she lives, or she knows when to shut up and stop talking? That's very funny though. But elaborate on that before I agree or disagree with that. So I had a couple of people say honesty, right? My first one is intellect, and then a sense of humor. All right, so she should know her place. Anybody else? Anybody agree with that? You say that's sexy. If a woman that knows her place is sexy. My first experience with that, or that I can recall, I was probably 20, early 20s, and this guy that I work with, I heard him talking to his spouse, and they were talking about something, and then I heard him say, "Well, I'm the man, so I'm the man, and I have the final decision. So this is what we're going to do." She didn't say anything, and that was the end of the conversation, right? So that was that's the end of the story, right? So that was my first experience with that. I'm thinking he has her trained, but she knew her place. I don't know if she was 10 places behind you, 10 paces at least, but she definitely knew her place. So now, interjecting some a little off base, but it may fit into what we're talking about. Would it matter? Let's say he was worthy. He was all these things that you wanted, ladies. the He was honest. He was open. What else did you say? Sexual compatible, and some other things. Would you know your place, and keep some paces behind. Like, would that work for you? If your guy came up to you and say, "Well, I'm the man. Uh, the decision is final." Is that something you would tolerate? And then if not, or regardless if you would tolerate them or not, would it depend on if he had everything that you wanted? I thought she was a I thought she was a model citizen, but since I was new to all of this, I couldn't understand why. Because all I'm used to, especially in certain races of women, I'm used to a lot of back talk. He says that no, it's a lot of back talk, a lot of back talk. So I was shocked for a minute when I heard that, because he said that. Then I looked at her, waiting for some type of comeback, and she didn't say anything. That message came in extremely uh, slow. I don't know what caused the order. I'm no mathematician or rocket scientist or anything, so I don't know what caused the odor. It could have been not even on a periodic table. I don't know where the smell came from. That's between her and her God. Well, so, Miss Ogburn, why are you lucky? Lucky you don't have a partner like that. Lucky in the sense of you would just have to put up with it. So you're lucky, like, man, I'm lucky I don't have to go through that. Or lucky, more like he's lucky he's not like that, because it will be a problem for him. Back talking will get you injured very swiftly. Okay. Okay. Reminds me of a time. Was I? No, someone told me they were. I don't know why I can't remember. So being in the military, you go overseas a lot. You go to these Asian countries, especially to the Koreas, and they were on a bus, I think, or a train, and the man was reading his paper, I think, and the wife, in whatever Asian language they were, could have been Korean, and she's just going off. I wasn't there. I heard the story. She's going off. She's going off. He's just reading his paper, and then he just looked up and slapped her, and then went back to reading his paper. She didn't say anything else the entire ride. So something happened. Something was said, but she knew her place, I guess, and she didn't say anything else. So I don't know if he was disturbed, like, I know this bitch, I know she see me reading my paper, or she was just going at it, and everything, because he was just reading his paper. He just hold the paper, he put it down, looked up, slapped her, went back. And she just, that was it. Uh, Good old days, I guess, for some. All right, so the question we're answering, I'm about to go to the next question, is top things you want in your sexual partner. Mine was intelligence. I'm afraid of stupidity, especially, or lack of intelligence rubbing off on me. I'm definitely afraid of that. Saying words like, I liked it, you, is an immediate way to have me stop talking to you. Second one was a sense of humor. And then my third one is physically active. You just have to be physically active. I'm not saying a goddess, or you have your six pack or anything like that, but your definition of physically active can't just be sex, or going from the couch to the kitchen to couch to the fridge. They have to be physically active. So those are my three. So does it change? So those things you all listed, does it change from a short-term partner versus a long-term? Such as, all right, so I'm gonna get with this girl, this man, this woman. I know this is not gonna last for too long. Does anything you describe or those characteristics, does it change? Yeah, liked it. Right. That's that when she told me that, I think it must have been 2 or 3 years that from the time I saw her on a regular basis, meaning in the same neighborhood or in the same office, whatever the case, saw her on a regular basis too. If 2 or 3 years had passed since I last saw her, and we were, I think, both with somebody at that particular time, and we just catching up, reminiscing, that type of thing. And she was like, "Yeah, I liked it, you, but I was too afraid," or something like that. And then after I heard "liked it, you," I can't remember the next 5 minutes of the conversation. My phone rings like, "Oh, I gotta go. It's good bumping into you." Because when she said that, I was like, "There's no way. If you liked it me then, you would hate it. You would have hated me then as well, because that wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't." Next question is, so those characteristics that you described, does it change at all for short-term partners versus long-term? And for those of you just joining us, we're talking about the top things you want in a sexual partner, especially from a relationship standpoint, and that can be defined however you want. You want to define that as a committed relationship or just a fling. But see, mate conditions, mate preferences are seen as a condition dependent. For instance, like a woman who is in top physical shape, she has a nice physique. She she may be more demanding of what she wants in her mate, such as being at a certain physical fitness level. So that's what I mean by condition dependent. They usually, in that example, they usually wouldn't pick a mate who avoids the gym at all cost and actively avoid the gym, right? And they prefer to sit around and eating junk food all the time. So some of our desires are what's considered condition uh, dependent. And similarly, I've read studies and through my own experiences show that the higher you are on a scale of 1 to 10, the higher the demand for your partner to be on that scale 1 to 10. So if you're at an 8, right, you usually and get to pose higher demands. But if you're only at 3, then you get what you get. Do you think this is true? That the desires we want another person are condition dependent? I can't stop it. I'm just recalling. That's all I'm doing. I'm recalling situations. And when you've lived all over the world and had all these different experiences, you come across some crazy, crazy things. And you shouldn't accept mediocrity. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just pointing out the times that I did not accept mediocrity. Do you think it's true that the desires that we have, the characteristics that we look for in others, are condition dependent? Again, for example, a female who's in great physical shape, top physique, works out all the time. The traits she wanted in a sexual partner would be dependent on the conditions she set for herself. And hey, I'm in top great shape. I'm not going to look for a mate who sits around all day, eats junk food, doesn't go to the gym, can barely spell gym, avoids it at all costs. Do you believe its preferences, mate preferences, are condition dependent? Sorry, I missed some. So what I mean by short term, let's say you are a traveling person, for instance, like a traveling therapist or a traveling nurse or doctor, or you go on a military deployment, or your job sends you away for a few months and you're going to get with a person. So you know it's likely to be short term. Does the characteristics and the preferences change based on someone? Let's say if you were back home and you were getting to know the person and you didn't know, of course, how long it's going to last or where it's going to go. But does it change given those situations? All right, Don Mega. So a woman should be in perfect shape or be sent back to her mother's house. Well, what about the man? What if the man is the on the other end, horrible shape? Is that okay? It sounds like a side piece. Maybe, maybe. Why's it got to be a side piece though? That follow-up question is: do you think it's true that mate preferences are seen or are condition dependent, meaning your preferences change based on what you are and the level you're at? Scale of 1 to 10. If you're 8, you're looking for 8s, 7s, 9s, 10s. If you're 3, where you kind of get what you get. I had read I don't know if it was an article or I saw it somewhere. I can't recall, but I know it's happened to me. So I'll phrase the question this way: do you think this statement is true, where a man doesn't care what he is, or his confidence or what, but he can be a 3 and he'll step to a girl who's considered a woman who's considered a 10? Whereas if it's flipped, a woman who's a 3, she's not going to step to a man who's high up on the list. You think that's a true statement? Okay, let me scroll through some of these comments. Okay, so he gets to be however he wants to be, Don, but she, if she's not in great shape, she needs to start over, go back home, be sent back home and start over. But he can be obese and all that. I've seen it both ways. Okay. Me, I would get mad, I think, if someone who's a 2, 3, or just low on a scale would would step to me from a hey, I think we should go out type situation. That is very funny. But do y'all think that's true? Oh, so I'm gonna move to the next question. All right, so the next question: sex, quality versus quality, quantity. I'm sorry, versus quality. What's more important? What's more important? I'm gonna type that in. What's more important? Quality or quantity? What's more important? I'll hold my opinion until a little later. Quantity versus quality. What's more important? I've heard people say each sex say, or some women say quantity and others say quality, and same thing for men. But I've seen it lean one way for men and lean another way for women. Yeah, I'm not going to change my answer. So, what's more important, sex quality or quantity? What's more important? Okay, yeah. Sex quality versus quantity. What's more important? No. All right, so you missed the question. Well, let me rephrase the question. What's more important? Right. So you're choosing between one or the other. I think this is what Don Mega was talking about when he was saying a woman should know their place, right? So, how, what question did I type? Yep, I typed it right. What's more important, right? Is it quality or quantity? So what's more important? Like if you had to choose one, you want quality or you want it more often? Well, yeah. I'll hold my opinion. I'm not choosing one when I can get both. All right, so we will ignore your responses. But what do y'all think's more for you? What's more important, quality or quantity? Keyword being, or keywords, more important. For me, I would go quality. I think quality is more important. Wouldn't we all prefer both, right? But that's not how the question was set up. But why would you choose quality? It was funny. I was thinking that when they answered like they did, I was thinking of that one girl who said, "I liked it, you." That's very funny and coincidental that you said that. But why would you choose quality? And who else would choose quality? And who would choose quantity? And we can talk about this over the phone if you want. If you want to call in and discuss some of this on the phone, you can call 301-531-4439, 301-531-4439, 301-531-4439. But why would you choose quality over quantity? Okay, so you would say quantity. Well, what if he was a quick shooter, right? So it lasted a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, like that's all it lasted. So you had that frequently, let's say every day, for example, but it was only a short amount of time. Is that fulfilling? I would say quality because I don't want to feel like I'm with a corpse, right? Where she's just sitting there, or she extremely inexperienced and just doesn't know what she's doing. Because although I love teaching, I am not in the mood, or I didn't come here to teach. All right, so can you get right back up, whatever the average is? If it's, let's say he can. So it's still So you go from 2 minutes to now 4 minutes because you got right back up. But it's not like put some time in between it. Like it wouldn't be 10 2-minute sessions back to back to back to back to back to back. So he is going to need time to work back up. To that, I would push back and say, okay, you can't even really get going because he's done already. So your body kind of dies down some, and you get back going again, and then by the time, right as you're about to get going, he's done again. He's completed. So those who said quality, why? Why would you pick quality? And those of you who say quantity, why? Why would you pick quantity? Can we put the next question out there? Can he get right back up? What does that matter? So what if he could? It still only lasts 2 minutes. And then if it's short the first time and he's naturally a quick shooter, isn't it going to be a little less the next time? Versus if it's quality, is it not quality in part because it lasts longer? I think so. I think part of the quality is the length of time that it lasts. And I think foreplay comes into play with that as well. So I would choose quality. I think earlier I mentioned that I was with someone, she just kind of laid there and then she had the nerve to, she had the nerve to think that was going to happen again. And then she got upset when I made her leave. And to this day, I'm confused as to why she got upset. Yes, we know you need both, right? But it's only, well, you need both of what? Good quality brings quantity. Explain that. Quality can hold you over. Sure. Right. I would think if it's quantity, so you may be having it more frequently, or do you get upset? Or is it a substitution? Like, yeah, he may be bad or she may be bad, but at least I have it more frequent. Do you negotiate within your own mind like that? All right, so if good quality brings quantity, or is that always a true statement? Is it always a true statement? If it's good quality, it can bring quantity. And probably even more appropriate, quality can hold you over. So if it's bad, you're saying it can't hold you over. And while y'all are still typing, I'm going to put out the next question. What do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? What do you wish you knew about a person? Not necessarily hindsight, not asking for you to look back. Like, man, I wish I knew this about this person, him or her. But just in general, going forward, what do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? So that's the third question. What do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? What do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? I have a few. What do I wish I knew? Maybe usage rate. And I wish I knew that. Like how many miles on this. So that's one. Because I've met some women who, I don't know, they think it's like fine wine, that that it gets finer with age. I look at it as the more something you use, the older it gets, the more worn down it gets. Hmm. Actually, I wish I knew if the woman was crazy. I think that's what I wish I knew. Is this person, is she crazy? That's what I wish I knew before I sleep with a woman. Is she crazy? And how crazy is she? What about y'all? What do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? I have met some crazy women. Somebody was looking out for me because I think for the most part I was able to avoid them all. I have heard stories, especially from my military friends. I've heard some stories. And some of them I'm thinking, oh no, you knew she was certified crazy before you even got with her. And you still got with her because something attracted her to you or him to you. Something, right? Especially for men who, like I said earlier, uh, focus on morphology, which is the study of a form or thing. So we're more focused on, at least my experiences, we're more focused on a woman's physique, how they're built, structure. So that desire overtook the craziness element that you knew was there, but you chose to ignore. And for those of you who are joining us, we talked about a variety of things thus far, but one of the questions, I think the first question was the top three characteristics you desire in a sexual partner relationship. That was the first one. And then we were talking about sex quality versus quantity. What's more important? And now, what do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? So I wish I knew if they were. I wish I knew if they were. If she was crazy. I am unable to successfully deal with that. I guess, Dawn, that's where the importance of a woman knowing their place comes in hand. And I've met some who say, "Oh yeah, I'm crazy." They know that they're crazy. They tell you beforehand, and you have no choice but to believe them, right? Or you'll go on dates with them, you'll take them out, and you're just learning. For me, anyway, I'm just sitting back, I'm listening, I'm hearing, I'm learning. That yeah, she's crazy. But I've missed some. I think I've missed some signs. There's one girl, she ended up. I think it was more hindsight. I think I found out afterwards. That's probably why I missed it. But when we got to the house, no, afterwards, I left my house and everything. She said, "Yeah, I sent my friend a copy of your tag because it's crazy out here, and I wanted her to have your information, just in case it didn't go right or something like that." And to me, why are you taking? I get the safety measure in that, but you wanted to come to my house, right? So you're not something's wrong with that. So what do you wish you knew about a person before you have slept with them? Are there any? Do I have any others? I don't know if I have anything else that I just wish I knew beforehand. I think sexual experience. I would like to know. Am I wasting my time with this person? And I used to wanted to know other things such as how many kids they have, or do they have any kids? Do they have any baby father issues? Stuff, stuff like that. What does the inside of their house look like? Are they fronting? Are they have a clean car, but that's like a facade, and their house is horrific? I used to wonder about things like that. Okay. For some reason, I can no longer see comments. All right, so let's review so far. We got another question after that. So, what some of the top things you want your sexual partner to be? We had a range of a range of characteristics or preferences. Mine was intellect and sense of humor and physically active. I think openness and honesty are some of the main ones mentioned. And then sex quality versus quantity. We had a couple of people trying to say both, but I think end up going with quality as opposed to quantity, and I would pick quality as well. Had a bad experience with someone just kind of laying there that I had to kick out. And then finally, what you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them. I do have another question. How long should sex last? What do you think? And this one I'm a little confused with because I've read different empirical studies, and they have a range from like 1 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 13, 13 to 25, and 25 and greater. But 7 to 13 minutes was was the average. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Yes, 113 minutes. I don't know if I agree with that. No, I don't think I agree. I guess it depends, right? On situational factors. All right, so that kind of goes back to the person who said quantity. If the guy was a quick shooter and he was done in 2 minutes, if she gets there in 2 minutes, that's good. That's what you're saying, right? Ultimately, that's the goal. That's a pretty funny answer, though. As long as it takes. Does it matter how they climax? Does that matter? Or are you just talking straight intercourse part? True, right? However, this is when I think quality. Another reason why I would pick quality over quantity. But so if the man can't help it, right? If he's just naturally a quick shooter, so 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's all. That's all he has. Clearly, he can't finish that piece of it because he's already done. What do you do then? Because I've heard of some situations like that. I think the first one was probably my second duty location, and I was friends with a couple. I think I was friends with her, or I was friend. I don't know which order I met them in, but I kind of met them around the same times, same time. But she told me that he was a quick shooter. However, she was okay with that because from an oral standpoint and a foreplay, and that's what he had to do for her to climax. So the intercourse part was or the straight sex part was always short, but the encounter would be longer because they would just do whatever until she climaxed. Okay, something like what you said. I guess that's what he would have to do. Right? Okay, so how long would you stay? Like he's not the one, right? How long would you stay? And that's for anyone out there listening. how long would you stay if the sex was bad? And is it contingent on other variables, such as he or she, they're financially stable, they're in great shape, other situations like that. But how long would you stay? I don't know how long I would stay. All right. So, well, you would have to stay a little bit, right? Because, or at least, so you're saying after the first encounter, that's the tell all. Like, oh, he's quick, and he's quick, and he's yeah. So like he's quick, and he doesn't do anything else to keep me aroused. Is it just after that first time? So you're judging him based on that first time? And so I asked two questions, but I think we're talking about the second question. The first question was, what you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them. But I think the communication that's going on right now is the second question is, how long should sex last? How long should sex last? So those are the last two questions. What do you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? And then how long should sex last? One person was saying, and I agree, but like I know guys, especially who I was friends with this couple, and the woman told me that he just doesn't last long. And I don't know how old they were. And we were all young in our early 20s, but he didn't last long. But he did other things to make sure she climaxed. And that's what one person is saying, that he should do other things to keep me aroused until he can go for another go at it. But she says she would leave if he can't. So I'm wondering, is that just after the first time? He's a quick shooter. He doesn't really do anything to keep you aroused. Or are you going to give it a little bit of time? For me, they don't have to be pros at it, but I shouldn't have to teach, because I love teaching, but that's not at this stage. Not for me. I'm not trying to teach. I don't know if I would put a time frame on it. Like it should last this at least this length of time. I do like until both climax. Yeah, so those studies that I was reading, and it was only 6, 7 or so that I read over a 5-6 year span, but they were all kind of pointing to 7 to 13 minutes was the most often chose one. The next one was 13, 14, and 25 minutes was the second most. What do y'all think about that? Yeah, I don't care for those times. Guess it's over when it's over when it's over. And for some of the unlucky guys, I guess it's really over when it's over. Right? No, I hear that. If you can't please me, then there's no future. But what's your cutoff? At what point do you know he's just not the one for you sexually? Is that after the first episode, the first month? Is there a time frame? Does it include foreplay? No, straight intercourse. Because you can have foreplay for hours, right? And some people do that or have to. And then the separate question would be, you mentioned foreplay. Does extended foreplay make up for this terrible problem of being a quick shooter? Does that? And it seems like the answer would be yes, it does. Like the one person said, if he can do other stuff to keep me aroused till he can go again, then cool. But does the extended foreplay make up for the problem of it not lasting long? And what's considered too long? What's considered too long? Or is there such a thing? All right, that's in line to what I've read, that whole 10 to 15 minutes thing, and that's in line to what I was reading. That's the straight intercourse part. So when you're including foreplay, of course, it goes much longer. But we were talking about, or I was talking about the straight intercourse part. What if it was much less than that? Would you run away like the other user, the other person said? She said she would be out, she would be gone. I think I would too. I think it was a bad situation and she just could not please me. My biggest problem is if she's just not doing anything. If I'm putting in all the work and she's just kind of laying there, it reminds me of a corpse situation. It's just, I'll put you out in a minute. Yeah, I don't have time for that. But would you run? You say roughly 10. Okay, that's not nice. You shouldn't do that. Maybe you can't help it. But what's considered is there such a thing as too long? That sex it's just too long. Is there like, hey, enough already? What is that time frame? I was with the girl, man. How long ago was this? Had to be at least 15 years ago. Yeah, probably around that time, 14, 15 years ago. And we would have sex frequently, especially first year or so. We would have sex frequently. But it kind of started slowing down on everything. And I asked her about it. She was like, I'll be having shit to do. You want to just keep going and going. 45 minutes later, an hour later, and you still haven't finished. I got stuff to do. Right. So I started causing issues between us. And that's I think the first time that I even contemplated that question or looked at it as a potential problem. I guess I know that's mate specific and subjective and all of that, but it wasn't until then that that conversation where I started to wonder, is there such a thing as having sex for too long? So I'm asking her, well, what do you want me to do? Part of the reason why it didn't work out. Well, what's considered too long, right? So if we're saying there's no, there's really not a set floor, right? As long as both people climax or he's able to keep her aroused, so there's no floor. But you're saying anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. What's the is there a ceiling? Say, hey, once we reach this, if you're not done, then you're just not done. So what's considered too long? I don't know if there's such a thing as a, a ceiling or put a time limit. Like the one person said, hey, until it's over, or sex needs to last as long until both people climax, which is the floor. I don't know if the opposite is true. That hey, it should not last any longer than this. or should it? I guess maybe because it can be worn down and hurt and swollen and all that excuses y'all come up with. But what that number is, I don't know. Can't can't really say. Right. So good point. Is that considered the same session? If you take a break, if it's a minute break or whatever, you need to get some water and all of that, or something to drink, rehydrate and all of that. I get that. I I go through that often. Like, man, I need to. I'm sweating, right? I need to rehydrate. So that break, that's the same session until until what point? If the break is X amount of time, is this a different session now? I'll take a break if I'm hot. If I'm hot, like if my body's hot and I can't do it. Or regardless if it's 2 hours, it can be 20 minutes, whatever the case is. But the break piece, how long does the break have to be before you say, hey, this is a different session? Yeah, if it's going that long, y'all just call it a day. Go watch a movie or something, or read a book or something. Okay, Don, that's one way to look at it. She should be done when I'm done, or she must go. Where's my pen? I want to write that down. And you're the one that said women should know their place, and you find that sexy. That's a top three thing that you need in a sexual partner, for her to know her place and you find her sexy. You're the same person. Like 2 to 5 minute break. Okay, so I agree with that. That's a short break. So anything longer, no, it's a different session. I know for my body, I get heated. So if it's not cold, my body will heat up, and like I'll start itching, and it just it's not a good situation because I'll get really heated real fast, especially then as it get hotter and everything. Then I'm on that 2 to 5 minute break cycle. Why are Americans unworthy? So you're saying if she doesn't come when you come, she can come back. She can come again when you come back. Okay. She must be done or she's overused. Hmm. So then the question that I posed earlier, how would you answer that? What you wish you knew about a person prior to sleeping with them? They don't respect themselves. American women don't respect themselves. I don't know if they're going to let you get away with that. Get away with that one. All right, y'all. Those are the only questions I have. I have some other ones, but I'm not going to put them out there just yet. They're going to be a part of something different I'm doing. Anything else y'all want to discuss or final comments before I close this up? I do like the break thing. I do like the 2 to 5 minute break piece. Okay, so that sounds like a nice pipe game. The connection is after foreplay. She climaxes upon insertion. I don't know if I've ever. No, I don't think I've ever been with a real woman from the East. But I'd like to hear more about it. That's extremely funny. I wonder why they don't respect themselves. Dude, why? So you look at women as mattresses. Mattresses who should know their place. And because they're mattresses, they really, their job is just kind of to be there, right? That's what you're saying. That's funny. Mattresses and dumpsters. I've heard them called dumpsters before, dumpsters, but I haven't heard mattresses before. At some point that may change though. Those boundaries may be knocked down, right? Like there were in this country. I was laughing when I first heard that word dumpster. That is very very funny. All right. Anyone else want to any final comments or anything? I'm gonna try to do a live session every other week. So twice a month. They have no vaginal walls because they only care about being used up. Damn, dude. So if they have no walls, then so what do they have? Okay, all right. So I wish more people were on to comment on that statement of I wish or I agree that women should know their place, though. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. Know your role and do it well. I'm extremely supportive of that comment. Know your place. It can sound bad, right? It's all up to interpretation and subjectivity. Definitely some subjectivity in that, and in that they how you interpret a statement, right? The tone of it is just bad. It's like saying, "Could you please be quiet?" and telling someone to shut the hell up. And ready in hallways. But I appreciate that, especially coming from a woman. I agree that women should know their place, though. The problem is, and I think Don would attest to, and I say the problem, I say lightly because I'm not generalizing to all women, especially all women of a certain race. But I think the problem with some, this independent, and now we're getting off topic, but this when you combine these ingredients of this extremely independent, you're not going to tell me what to do, I'm my own person attitude, it in this movement, this empowered movement, some women don't want to hear the words role or anything like that. Even though we didn't invent the word, right? We didn't make it up as a bad thing. But yeah, know your place sounds bad, especially depending on how Don says it. They have vanity and hallways for vaginas. Okay. I don't know what to say to that comment about independent women have inner penises. I think that's what you said. Yep, that's what you said, and I don't know what to say to that. I'm not too sure. That's because women think empowerment is to be aggressive like a man, but we aren't men. We can be soft and feminine and be empowering. Yes, you preaching now, and I wish more people were on here to hear that because I know of quite a few ladies who I think will push back on at least some of what you're saying. And I don't see anything wrong with a woman being independent and doing their own thing and all of that. But like if I'm supposed to be tossing you around in the bedroom, I can't feel like that you're just as capable of tossing me around. You know, you take off your clothes and you're aggressive. Like what you want to do? Like, well, I feel like going to the gym now. You know, this is I can't I can't do this. They are bull dykes and very butch. That's kind of funny. I will beat my woman with complete disregard if she. Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen. Actually, yeah, I'd like to see that the first part, right? The attempt part, her attempting to toss you around. I'd love to see that piece. That's a funny situation. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, what the hell does that? What does that mean? I would beat her with the complete disregard. That just sounds a little. It sounds funny to me. Okay, hospitalized. Okay. Well, how is she going to learn, right? So now I get that. How else is she going to learn? It only happened once, right? So I think that's the point of it all. It only happened once. Complete disregard. So if you were with somebody and whatever y'all doing, but you're with someone, you're with a woman, and she just grabs you and picks you up and turns you over and all that aggressive, not not subtle or asking you, hey, turn over or whatever the case, but she just picks you up and turns you over, even if it's to do something that you want, like she was oral sex on you or something like that. That's too much, and she's going to end up in the hospital. Under Sharia law, I have the right. Okay. That's extremely funny. I don't know what I would do. I'm not sure how I would handle that. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would handle that. I don't know if I would be shocked or cry a little bit, like I'm afraid and I don't want to leave because I don't know what she's going to do, or I don't know how I would get myself out of that situation. Maybe scream fire or something, or spider or something. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't been in anything close to that, I don't think. I've been with some women who were aggressive and they wanted me to do stuff to them that it was almost too much for me. Like, I'm afraid to do this to you. She's like, no, it's okay, go ahead and do it. And she's telling me, hey, I'll do this. I'm like, no, that don't even sound ethical, right? It doesn't even it doesn't sound right. Are you sure? Like, yeah, no, it's cool. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not experienced enough for her. Because if she's like, oh no, it's cool, and then I don't know. I was afraid. Like, okay, like I need to go pray or meditate or something first. Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I've met a couple of those. Yeah, I've been. No, yeah. Yeah, it's bad situation. I've been in a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those type of situations where I feel like the little kid being taught something like, okay, I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a sexual act, but it's all good. That's, that's when the spirit moves you, it moves you. Who am I to get in the way of the spirit moving you? But that was a long time ago. A long time ago. Because then it gets you, for me, it had me like reevaluating life. Like, have I been wrong all this time? Have I been seeing the world through a fake prism or lens? Do I even know what a man is? Right? Yeah. So it was a little traumatic. Yeah, a little bit. These are American women advertising the strip. You mean on the strip? Hell no. All right, y'all. Anything else I want to talk about? What was I saying before? Yes, I'm gonna try to do something twice a month, and I may switch platforms. Feminists are disgusting. Why? I think I'm a feminist. I believe in female rights and equality and all of that. But at the same time, I also believe in this equality. If you hear a burglar downstairs, either one of us can go check. It doesn't have to be you under the blanket, under the covers, like, hey, somebody is downstairs. All right, well, you heard it. Go check. Right. So that's just the type of equality I believe in. They wish to have apple of Adam. Adam apple. That's funny. All right, it looks like it's just a few of us now. So I'm going to go ahead and in things. I do think the few that have participated. Some good dialogue. Yeah, so thank you for participating. Make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Do me a favor and share for me. Check out some of my other videos. Oh, you missed a lot of stuff. Yeah, you missed a lot of stuff. We had one woman saying she and she was preaching how women think empowerment is to be aggressive like a man, right? And she believes that a woman should know their place. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Know your role and do it well. And that was probably the best statement made today. So you're saying what? I don't know if you're saying what too, but she is American. Bad attitude. Yeah. Jesus does love us. Even a girl who I had a close encounter with who smelled extremely like she needed a whole bunch of prescriptions. Even he even loves her. Loves the girl that says she liked in me. Liked it. I don't even know how to spell that. Anything else y'all want to talk about? I keep saying it, but then the liked it, I think. Liked it. That's probably how it's spelled. I can't even look at it too long because I don't want to part of my vocabulary or to accidentally spell it that way. And yeah, I can't look at that. And she was fine too, man. She was fine. She was, but she wasn't all the way there up top, and that's what got me. Yeah, I liked the you when we, I don't know, it was work together or what, but yeah, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Yep, couldn't do it. All right, if nothing else, I am going to make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, and do me a favor and share another live session coming soon, sometime after the first of the year. And I may change platforms, or at least allow it to stream through YouTube, but use a different platform. All right, so you all take care, even you, Don. And if you do find yourself down in a compromising situation and you're going to have to beat her with no regard or whatever it is you said, then you go ahead and record that for me. And or if you find yourself in a position where she's about to be aggressive and start flipping you around the bedroom, you can make sure you go ahead and record that for me. I would greatly appreciate that. Well, who am I to judge, right? I'm not going to judge another person for. The woman can go check. I don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes YouTube comments, they come in a little slow. The woman can go, oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, what's wrong with that, right? So I was talking about being a feminist and believing in equality, right? So I don't think a woman could or should necessarily get to pick and choose what part is equal, right? Hey, I want equality here, but not so much here. Now, you heard a noise downstairs, go check. Get your equal butt out of the bed and go check. I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I didn't hear anything, so you go check. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong? Why did you say what like that? Like she shouldn't go check, right? She wants equality. If she wants equality, get your equal ass up and get the strap. He's talking about a gun, ladies, not a strap on. Let's get that out of the way, just in case that was taken left. So he's talking about the strap. That's what he's talking about. Just don't want any confusion with that. So yeah, go downstairs, get the strap, and go check. And you can report back to me. I'm the final decision maker, right? As the man, you can report back to me your findings. What do you think we should do? And I'll decide. But yeah, get up and go check. Because when the spirit moves you, let it move you. I'm sorry, Miss Sassy Chick, you don't know how to have a man. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. But you have great qualities, right? You believe in a woman should know their place, and you have a nice picture. Why don't you know how to have a man? Would you go check if somebody, if there was a burglar downstairs, or you thought you heard something? When it moves you, it moves you. Who are you to stop it from moving? All right, so I got ideas for my next live session. What do y'all think we should discuss? Wait. Okay, so it's not your role. And I can respect that. So then you're not one to say equality across the board. Yes, right. So on one hand, you can't say, and I keep trying to end, but we keep more comments. On one hand, you can't say, hey, I can do everything you can do, and equality, and blah, 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 equality this, equality that. And I'm not going to know my place. I'm my own person. I'm independent. I'm this, and this. I do what I want. Yet, in certain situations, you're okay with roles. You're okay with me being the head and me leading and things not being equal. Get out of that. You lost me with that. Yep, you lost me with that. Just get the strap, like he said, strap weapon, and go check. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. You just gotta have faith in yourself. Because if you heard it and you're not checking, and I'm not checking, I guess we're just not checking. We go downstairs when we don't hear anything else for like 15 minutes and see what else is still left. Right. Right. Every man, woman, and child for themselves, I guess. Or in this case, every person for themselves. Because it's not going to be every man for himself, because I'm only going to be in the bed with the woman. So if you're talking about every man for himself, then you're saying just me for myself and then her for herself. So you got to be careful how you word things. Every man for himself. What the hell do you mean, every man? There better not be any other men. Unless you talk about the man who's robbing us. Then they don't have anything to worry about because she's not going to check because it's not her role. So just want to provide clarity to that. The equal woman is a dude in spirit. Okay, makes some sense. No, that's not cool. The robber is a dude or another equal female. I'm a dude. Now I was saying, what's some other topics y'all want to talk about, or do you have any? Okay. That would be bad if it's a social fetch with only one. Vanity and modernization, or I'm sorry, vanity and moderation. Overanalyzing. Okay, that's a good one. I want to know why women feel the need to tell the background, the backstory when they're telling you something. Good for you. I don't mind a man leading. You would fit in with Don and his people. Hmm. That's very funny. All right, guys. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have said that. All right, people. How are you going to cuff somebody to a camel? Can't you just kind of slip through? Yeah, maybe. Like Swede, break for sweat overeating. I'm a machine woman. think that came in extremely late. Yeah, so didn't mean all right, guys. I meant all right. All right, guys, and yes, an equal woman. Man, I'm getting a lot of comments that are coming in now that was should have been an hour ago, maybe. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to end this. Again, thanks for yeah, see messages are coming in extremely late. If I take an hour, your little box is trash. Yeah. If it take an hour, your little box is trash. Yeah. So a lot of stuff coming in super late. I'm not sure why. But anyway, again, thanks for participating. Make sure you hit that subscription button and notification bell, and do me a favor and share this. And you all be safe out there, whatever it is that you're doing. And and I will talk to you all next time. All right. So this is Dr. O signing off.